Hey, hey. It says I'm live, but the screen hasn't changed up yet. There we go. Now it looks like we're live. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope we got a few auditors turning in for the live, but you can catch up later. But on the live, you can put some questions in the comment if you got some. My. I have been busy. I have. Been a busy Christmas day. People. And as always, I come unscripted, but with a few notes. I'll talk about this notice of liability. It's kind of interesting. The other day, I saw a comment. Somebody was replying, so I got a green indication. And it looked like it was Ivan. And Ivan says, Ethan, your notice looks more like an affidavit. But before I could even find it, it looks like somebody scrubbed that. Yeah, Ivan, and anyone else. It should look like an affidavit because it is. It should look like a notice because it is. It's more than that. It's a court of record document. And there's a word I adamantly declare. What is declaration? What does declaration mean in the dictionary? So I look for Old English. Noun, the act of declaring. Announcement, a declaration of a divided, a positive, explicit, or formal statement. Proclamation, a declaration of war, something that is announced, avowed, or proclaimed. A document embodying or displaying an announcement or proclamation. He posted the declaration in a public place. What else do we got here for some talk about declaration? What's the difference between a decree and a declaration? As now is the difference between a declaration and decree is that declaration is a written or oral indication of fact, opinion, or belief, while decree is an edict or law. All right, let's talk about law. In a court of record, in a very serious case, with very serious allegations and testimony, Gretchen Whitmer, our esteemed governor, a bar member, as far as I know, she was an associate bar attorney prior to becoming governor. I doubt she's turned in her bar card. So British agent. In a court of record, admits that her and her administration are warring with the people. In a court of record. And the charges of treason. She agrees charges of treason can be brought against her for warring with the people. Now, Pat Whiteford, Kalkaska County Sheriff, got an order for her arrest because of that court case from the prosecutor. And Pat Whiteford doesn't seem to be too interested in functioning to the duties of his department. It's very disappointing for the American people. So, following the guidelines our constitutions. I went to the military subservient to the civil. Our government's corrupt. Our governor admits in a court of record, I can bring charges of treason against her for warring with the people. And 3 garrison commanders admit in a court of record that I can bring charges against them for treason because they fail to follow an order to help save the people from the war that Governor Whitmer admits to in a court of record. So what are we going to do about this? Well, we're going to fix it because we, the people, we have all power. Goodness. What do I want to talk about next? So, I got a note here. This is interesting. Gag orders. These administrative judges put gag orders. Here in Michigan, back in the beginning of medical marijuana, there was a lot of court cases. Oh, these bar parasites, British agents, boy, they were just raking it in. Not much has changed in that regard. They're still raking it in. And back in the day, in these court cases, the judges, these administrative judges, through their assumptions and presumptions and trickery, would enslave the free people unconstitutionally, unjustly, and I believe with absolute full knowledge, and would put gag orders on. Now, you got freedom of speech. You're supposed to be defending your life, your liberty, and your freedom. And you got some administrative judge putting a gag order on you with zero authority, only because you assumed and presumed yourself into that position because you didn't know. Well, with this notice of liability, that's not going to happen anymore. It's just not. You're an American. Americans don't do this. So what are we going to do? What's a peace officer and what can a peace officer do? What's the difference between a peace officer and a police officer and a constable? Police officers are pretty much policy officers, and they're all appointed by our servants. Our servants appoint policy holders for what? Well, to keep an eye on our servants and commerce. That's what they're there for. Not to be road pirates against the free man. Yeah, but Ethan, that doesn't stop them. I know. That's because for generations, these British agents, these bar parasites, have been dumbing down the population, including their own. They do not teach common law in law school, according to Professor Clemens, who does teach that common law is a history of case law in administrative courts. Oh, my goodness. My. That's supposed to be a smart man, huh? Lordy. What else do we want to talk about here real quick? Okay. How about we take a look at a couple of constitutional provisions? Right of petition and of assembly. Assembly, that's an important word here. We got any auditors here yet? Auditors, if you got a If you're here, put a comment in the comments. If you got a question, put a question in the comments. Right of petition and of assembly. The right of petition and of the people peacefully to assemble for the common good shall never be abridged. That means they can never take that right away. And we peacefully assemble. No one can take that right away, ever. Nobody, no government, no official has that authority. And we have freedom. We have liberty. The mode of administering an oath or affirmation shall be such as shall be most consistent with the binding upon and conscious of the person to whom such oath or affirmation may be administered. It's an administrative process that someone goes through when they undertake an oath. Section 8 here, right to privacy. No person shall be disturbed in his private affairs or his home invaded without authority of law. So anytime one of these road pirates decides they want to pull you over, they do, without a warrant. And what was the word I just read? Without authority of law. Law. L-A-W, law. That means without a warrant, you cannot be stopped. Well, where does warrant come from, Ethan? Well, it would come from a grand jury. Well, what's a grand jury? I don't know. I haven't seen one. The sheriffs are hiding them. They are. The sheriffs are hiding them. Well, how come the sheriffs are hiding them? Well, because these bar parasites got us so dumbed down, we don't have them. Now, apparently our servants have some grand juries and administrative bodies. Well, that's not lawful. That's legal. Some people are suggesting I go to the Attorney General for help. What a joke. Why go to such a low-level servant when we're dealing with war on the people? War. This is really, really not good, is it? No. But we win wars. We Americans, that's what we do. We win wars. What else our forefathers want to tell us? Irrevocable. Irrevocable. Grants of privileges. That's with an S. Privileges. Franchises or immunities. That's the title. No law granting irrevocably any privilege, franchise, or immunity shall be enacted. Here's an interesting one. Oh, now I put 48 states' Bills of Rights and Declarations of Rights together, and I've been studying from that. I put it on the website. Oh, my goodness. Since I put that up and a few other things, seems like the airways are a little bit troubled, shall we say. Those 47 states, they disappeared. Whoosh, gone. Abrogated. They weren't repugnant. They're beautiful. They're not there. So I get into the computer to access it. It's locked. The file's locked. It will not open. Oh, boy. Ethan, they got you again, didn't they? No, they tried. They tried and they failed again, like usual. This old boy got backup. I got backup from a backup from a backup. And then I got backup. And I don't back up. I come forward. As you can see. Clearly see. So, for those of you who are not aware, I am the executive manager in a state of war for the great state of Michigan. I have been the executive manager. This has been declared in a court of record. I have been since early this year. And you auditors, you are so welcome, because now we're going to empower you. That's right. We, the people, are empowering you with knowledge. You're going to own your authority. And you are not only going to just audit, you're going to be able to hold these people accountable. And I encourage you to be an arm of the Constitutional Accountability Committee. I'm working on some paperwork that's going to be good for the Michigan auditors to facilitate. Now, one of the fellows talked about being able to get to all the sheriffs in about 2 weeks in the state of Michigan. We got 83 counties. I want you to get in touch with me before you get started. Now, I'm easy to reach. Phone number's on the website. You can reach me through the comments. All right. What else do we want to talk about here? What else do we want to talk about? Article 3, Declaration of Rights. There's that word again, declaration. Interesting. See that, Ivan? I bet you missed that, though, Ivan, didn't you? It kind of looked like a declaration. A court of record. Fundamental principles, reoccurrence 2. What's that about? A frequent reoccurrence to fundamental principles is essential to the security of individual rights and the perpetuity of free government. Well, my. Oh, here we're going to get into a couple of dandies. This is section 2.1. This is, what is this one? This one looks like it's out of Arizona. To preserve and protect victims' rights to justice and due process, a victim of crime has a right. And then we go to 1. To be treated with fairness. Now, is that funny or what? To be treated with fairness. Here you got these road pirates constantly victimizing you. You got these bar parasites constantly victimizing you. However, you're supposed to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity. What a conundrum. What an absolute conundrum. All right, to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, and to be free from intimidation, harassment, or abuse throughout the criminal justice process. All right. Let's look at this a little bit deeper, huh? To be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, and to be free from intimidation. Whoa. 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 Give me a break. You see, it starts with intimidation. It does. It's on the news. They show you all the time how these road pirates will force a car off the road. No warrant from a grand jury that came from oath or affirmation from a man claiming harm. And yet they're going to run your car off the road to arrest you. What's arrest? Stop you. Auditors on the service page, and all Americans. This is for all Americans, but this video is dedicated to the auditors. On the services page of the website, oralhealthwithcannabis.com, I've put videos for you. There's a few videos for cannabis for anybody that's interested in oral health with cannabis down towards the bottom. However, I've got so many videos now on my YouTube channel. How do you know what to click on for what's relevant to you at this moment? So for you auditors, on the services page, I put some videos here that are being quite good for you to listen to, and especially in Michigan. So your Michigan Sheriff Explained, and then that same title, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. And there's a link in the description for you to access what I'm reading, so you can verify everything for yourself. I would suggest, even if you don't want to listen to me and you just want to read it, and then come back and listen, because I have commentary. Unless you feel that you've just got it all and you're good, then right on, rock with it, right? So there on the services page, that's there for you. What else do we see here? What else is written in compact, which is a contract? To be informed upon request when the accused or convicted person is released from custody or has escaped. Now, this has got to be one of the most stupidly crafted sentences I've run across. To be informed upon request. Okay, so some man has harmed you, has been in custody, and has escaped. But you don't know about it. But you got a right to request to know about it when you know about it, but you don't know about it. All right. Now, the vast majority of the time, these victims of crimes are free people. So when a free man escapes, he's supposed to tell himself because he's the victim. What a conundrum. It is just, it's unbelievable to me how upside down everything is. What does number 8 say? 8 says to receive prompt restitution from the person or persons convicted of the criminal conduct that caused the victim's loss or injury. Held court. 1. Can't get a jury for a conviction. So why is it none of these parasites are coming after me? through a court of record with a lawful process. They got nothing to come after me with. And even if, excuse me, even if they thought they did, right now they would be petrified to expose that grand jury. Well, we're going to assemble them. Then we're going to notify the sheriffs of who the grand jury foreman is. Then, in that process, we will additionally post it in the sheriff's office lobby in full view for anyone to access. You want to know who the grand jury foreman is? You ought to be able to just walk into the sheriff's office, look for that notice posted on the wall, get the name and phone number, contact the foreman of the grand jury, and then go from there with your oath or affirmation. And once the grand jury comes to a determination, decides to create a warrant, then that warrant will get delivered to the sheriff. And the sheriff has a duty. Now, that warrant could say it's an arrest warrant. Well, what does that mean, Ethan? Well, it means the sheriff's going to go stop a man and talk with him. Got to find out his side of the story. Somebody's making a claim against him in court. Could be completely frivolous. Could be a misunderstanding. So the order is for an arrest. Sheriff's got some questioning to do. Well, what if the situation is a little bit more serious, Ethan? What do you think a grand jury would do? I think, well, then a grand jury would order an order for arrest and detention. I'm going to do some serious questioning on this man. Well, what if the evidence is so compelling that this person is a danger? Well, then the grand jury might issue a warrant order for arrest, detention. Oh my goodness, there's two more words. Arrest, detention, containment, and incarceration. So imagine they'd need to contain you to get you from the point of detention to the point of incarceration. So an arrest means to be stopped. You look in an old English dictionary, that's what's going to tell you. All right. So you cannot be stopped. You cannot be detained, contained, or incarcerated without a warrant from a grand jury. That is the law, the highest law of the land. Yet our servants seem to think they can just rape and pillage us at will. And the bar parasites have done such a good job of dumbing us down, and the MK Ultra has done such a good job of brainwashing us that all these generations and all these years have just been helpless. And it's always, oh, you need to talk to an attorney. Well, it's like going to a guy that just beats you up and saying, will you help me? Will you beat me up some more? Yeah. What a racket. What else the forefathers want to tell us? To a speedy trial or deposition and prompt and final conclusion of the case after the conviction and sentence. Well, we need a grand jury for that, don't we? Oh, now here's the Jim Dandy. To be informed of victims' constitutional rights. When has this ever happened? These road pirates, in conspiracy with these British parasites, are victimizing us free Americans like it's just open shooting at the gallery. And I don't know, I've never heard of any of us ever be informed of our constitutional rights, our right to not be arrested, our right not to have our liberty and our freedom endangered, taken, shortened, abridged, because it's indefeasible. It's inalienable. It's unalienable. It is inherent in you. Oh my goodness. I'm not just saying it, I prove it. And I say, don't believe me, believe God. Work without faith is exactly that. How are you going to reap what you sow if you don't sow? So you need to know what your rights are. This says victim, in quotations. It says means a person against whom the criminal offense has been committed, or if the person is killed or incapacitated, the person's spouse, parent, child, or other lawful representative, except if the person is in custody for an offense or is the accused. Excuse me. All right, now, wow, there's a lot in there, isn't there? How many teachers out there telling you can't say you're a person? How many teachers out there telling you can't be a citizen? And you can't say, I understand, because that puts you below your servants. There's a lot of talk out there that just doesn't make any sense to me. There's a mouthful in here. Now, victim means a person. That sounds like individual. A person. That's what it sounds like to me. My whole life, somebody said that person. I would think that they're referring to that man. Victim means a person against whom the criminal offense has been committed, or if the person is killed. Well, you can kill a corporation, right? Corporation can become defunct. Generally not associated with the term killed. So let's read on. If the person is killed or incapacitated, can a corporation or identity be incapacitated? Yep, I think so. The person's spouse. Whoa, now. Can't use the word person. Is that right? I cannot use the word person. Constitution says victim means a person against whom the criminal offense has been committed, or if the person is killed or incapacitated, the person's spouse. When does a corporation or an entity get married? Ever. Ever. So if this word person is referring to an identity, how could this have been phrased like this? killed or incapacitated the person's spouse, parent, child, or other lawful representative. Lawful representative, not legal representative, except if the person is in custody of an offense or is the accused. All right. Now, how can we fix this? Well, that's easy. As the Constitution says, that all persons invested with the legislature or executive, see, all persons. So what does that mean? All corporations, all entities? That all persons invested with the legislature or executive powers of government are the trustees of the public and, as such, accountable for their conduct. All right, auditors. That's a big word there. Accountable. Wherefore, whenever the ends of government are perverted and the public liberty manifestly endangered, that liberty endangered. Now, auditors, you got a right to liberty. In fact, that right can never be diminished. It cannot be abridged. It is inherent in you. Yet you experience a trespass on that right quite often, I believe. The public liberty manifestly endangered and all other means of redress are ineffectual. All my means of redress so far been ineffectual. I've been around the gamut. Constitution, does it say what to do when you've been everywhere? Medical science says what you did was impossible before you did it. And then you do it, and science and government just keep on attacking and attacking so that the free people of the world are denied. And all other means of redress are ineffectual. The people may, and of right, ought. We may, and we have a right, and we ought to do what? To reform the old. Reform the old what? Or establish a new government. We can reform or establish a new government. How do we do that? I guess we'll have to get to that in a minute. The doctrine of non-resistance against arbitrary power and oppression is absurd, slavish, and destructive to the good and happiness of mankind. Well, how are we going to fix it? Easy. Indiana. What in the world happened? There we go. Indiana. Constitution, Article 1, Section 1. Article 1, Section 1. I'm going to pull this up. It will just take me a minute because I know exactly where it is. There we go. So Indiana, Article 1, Section 1, certainly applies to all Americans. You can't have a right in one state you don't have in another. Indiana, Article 1, Bill of Rights. We declare that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unalienable right to life and liberty. Are you liberated when a road pirate has been intimidating you your entire life through the news media and TV and movies, so that you're so indoctrinated to believe and know that they run their vehicle into free man's vehicles and force them off the road? That sounds like a trespass. What about just stopping a free man? Yep, they do that too. They just stop the free man. So what do we do about it? That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, that all power is inherent in the people. There you go. All right, all power is inherent in the people. War. Our governor here in Michigan, in a court of record, agrees we're at war because government is warring with we the people. Our peace officers, our lawful enforcement officers, are derelict in duty. So you auditors, you're going to have a good time holding these people accountable. Government is to be open, accessible, and responsive. Constitutional provisions. And these servants are to be accountable. So that notice of liability is on the services page of the website, oralhealthwithcannabis.com. It's for all Americans. To simply facilitate that. And now you have the shield of God's arms wrapped around you. You got steel in your spine. You got sand. You can stand. And they cannot touch you. Now, the problem is, it's difficult to hold them accountable criminally in a lawful system because it's just not there. We don't have grand jury foremen accessible to us in any of the counties that I'm aware of. Excuse me. So we're just going to have to form them. Now, I've been trying to educate sheriffs, and it's a slow go because I'm a little handicapped. You get a group of auditors. This can be done in a week or 2 weeks. Now, every sheriff in the state has been noticed, has been educated, and has been ordered to contact all bylaw police in the county and tell these bylaw police that their road piracy days are over. Done, finished. Well, nobody's going to throw us in jail. We conspire with this private foreign entity that has no common interest or value with the American people, and we're just going to keep on doing what we do because we got the prosecutor, we got the judge, we got the defense, we got it all because we own it. British parasites. And we're going to assume and presume the free man into slavery, bankruptcy, pain, and misery and suffering. What? Nah, not anymore. Game's over. Sheriff's got arrest powers. Where do you get that? From the people. How do you get a power we don't have? You mean we got arrest powers, Ethan? Well, my goodness, you have all power. Did you give power to the sheriff to do arrest? lawful, conditional upon a process? Well, I've been through a process. I've been through a process with the sheriff of Kalkaska County, the undersheriff, and the jail sergeant. They're free. And we just, in the process of dealing with Barry County sheriff and undersheriff, and we put them in court, and they apparently got a real problem with treason. You see, I called the Barry County Sheriff, Darleaf. I believe the date was December 9th. Today, I have not heard a word. A couple of good men with the People's Bureau of Investigation went and had a meeting, presented a notice. That notice was advanced reading of a court case. Before I could facilitate that court case, Sheriff Darleaf showed examples of maladministration. So I amended and updated that paperwork before I facilitated it through a notary jurat and service, where I noted that maladministration, showed proof of it in an exhibit. And there was an order in there. Sheriff Darleaf and Under Sheriff Jason Sixberry have not honored that order. They did not do their job. They did not make a phone call to explain why or reach out to contact in any way, shape, or form. I believe 2:10 p.m. this afternoon, if they have not responded, and I won't know that necessarily for a few days. If I don't receive service with their response, then they have not responded. Then in that case, then they agree that charges of treason can be brought against them. And we, the people, have arrest power. Well, that's 2 out of 83 sheriffs in the great state of Michigan. With the help of the auditors, we're going to find out real quick the position on the other 81 sheriffs. So I'm working on some paperwork that is good for the American people. And we'll talk about that again real soon. So has anybody got a question they want to put in the comments? Pop it in there. I'm going to take a quick scan through my papers to see, do I have any other notes that I wanted to discuss with y'all tonight? A lawful process would be in a superior court where there are 12 judges. 12. Administrative is one judge that has no authority over the free man. There's a big difference. See, they've tricked us with this thing called a jury trial. It's an illusion. It's not a trial by jury. And the juries don't decide the law. The judge does. So we have all power. We give the power to the sheriff. He can't have power we don't have. We can arrest the sheriff. If we have to, we will. Federal marshal is an administrative servant. He is. He's got to have a warrant from a grand jury too. Now, federal marshal can travel across the country. Federal marshal could arrest a sheriff in any state, I would think, provided there was a arrest warrant that came from a grand jury. The FBI and Gretchen Whitmer. Now, is that a clown show going on here or what? What in the world is that all about? Seriously, what is that all about? Well, Gretchen lost a court case. She admits we the people charge her with treason. I guess it took her a minute or two to figure that out. And now look what's going on. We got free men here in Michigan being harassed by bar parasites. I think one of them took a plea. These guys got $100,000 in invoicing to deal with. Lord have mercy. I got a note there, but I'm not sure what it means. Well, we're done with all this foolishness. So we're just going to crush it lawfully, peacefully, and powerfully. You don't need a plate on your vehicle. Your vehicle does not need to be registered. You don't have to be paying a registration fee. You don't have to be paying a license fee. You don't have to be paying a tab renewal fee. And you don't have to be having an operator's license. You don't. You get freedom, liberty. You got the right to travel. You got the right to private property. Where in the Constitution does it say that you need to register your private property? It doesn't. It's just another trick. So auditors, take some time over the next couple of days on the services page, oralhealthwithcannabis.com. Use DuckDuckGo or some other search engine to get there other than Google, because Google's likely not going to let you in. Just closes the page on me now. Bam, closed right down. I'm going to put the state's Bills of Rights and Declarations of Rights that I have back up. It'll be titled something else. It'll be titled 48 something. It's a Word document. Use the find feature. Type a word in and search the document. Study. Study, 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 and learn. A lot of real smart individuals out there, very intelligent individuals out there. And the thing I really am encouraged about with the auditors is I believe this is more of a younger group of men than an older group of men. So we got some good patriots. They've been out there on the front line. They've been taking the hits without the protection. Now we got the protection. All right, so we get this all put in place. All the sheriffs have been given their notice of our declaration. They've been educated on the law, and they refuse to do their job. Well, we're going to hold them accountable for that. Now, if they continue to be road pirates, thieves, we'll deal with that the way road pirates and thieves should be dealt with. One of them decides they're going to pull over a car. There's 3 men in there. Everybody else witnessing that, just pull right over and surround them. Take that sheriff into custody. Take that bylaw police officer into custody. But not now. First, we'll get all this service done. We'll get all this education done. And then we're going to own it. We're going to stand on it. We're going to create the grand juries, grand jury foreman, and we're going to hold these servants accountable. And we're going to live free. All right? All right. I knew you'd like it. How can you not? I really thought we were going to get this accomplished for the 4th of July. It didn't happen. I had hopes that Sheriff Darr would bring the American people a good Christmas present, show the people what an honorable man he is. Remember, he said, vote for me, vote for me. And he advertises as a constitutional sheriff. Just Google Michigan constitutional sheriff. You'll find Sheriff Darr Leaf making $85,000 a year, locking up free men and women, and doesn't want to protect them. So it would appear that he's made his decision. We're moving on. Pure and simple. All right, everybody. Merry Christmas. Blessings on y'all. I hope you're warm, safe, comfortable, and happy. I hope you find these actions that we're taking, that we're putting together, giving you some comfort, some encouragement, and that you're turning into an American who knows what an American is, so you can act like an American. And these auditors, they're going to show you exactly how it's done. By God, amen.